Welcome to our Glorious Ashes of Creation April development update. We hope that everyone has been well and safe. It has been a crazy month for us. I'm sure you all have seen. We've got a lot to talk about today and a lot to go over. But of course, I'm Margaret Crone, your Director of Communications. And with me, as always, is Stephen Sharif, our Creative Director.
Woo!
How are you doing, Stephen?
I am alive and in this beautiful world, so I'm doing great.
Stephen and I are both kind of not feeling great. So apologies in advance if we get a little loopy.
I have a boot. Do you see my boot?
He has a boot, and I had like 104.3 degrees for fever yesterday, so I'm recovering. But of course, below you can kind of see some of the things that we're going to talk about today. We have quite a few reminders, a lot to go over today. Turquoise Sea Preview, and we have the Anvil sneak peek. Be talking a little bit about that, as well as we will be hopping into game and playing live with our wonderful folks over on Resna
Yay.
through Jundark and doing a little event showcase in the tropics over in the Turquoise Sea. And then we'll do a little
Yes.
live Q&A. So got a lot going on. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And this has
First,
been a busy month. I mean,
yes.
we got a lot coming up both between the server merging that we did and their testing today and yesterday on PTR, as well as the fresh start server and the announcements that we had with the extension of the phase 2. There's been a lot of conversation in the community, so I'm excited to kind of dig into it today and chat about all these things.
Yeah, the realm merge went pretty well for our initial test yesterday. So now we are doing it over on Resna with the non-PTR folks with our actual play, all of our testers. So it's been pretty smooth, oddly so far, which is a little nerve-wracking. So maybe something bad's gonna happen. We'll see.
Oh
But we
no.
are trying to
Don't put that voodoo on us, Ricky Bobby. Come on now.
we're trying to make sure that everything is running smoothly for potential future merges if we need to do them. Not always the thing that you want to do, but I think it's good for people to be thinking about it preemptively, and so we're definitely doing. Of course, we'll always bring up more realms if we need to, but let's get into all of the things. We have a lot to talk about, and we want to get in game and have fun too. So first and foremost, our YouTube subscriber comment. If you don't remember, we spotlight one person from our community based on being a subscriber. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You have to be like a public subscriber. It's like a weird thing. Look it up. And then we choose someone at random. It's great. So for this one, it is from Shado3682. And apparently they've been subscribed to us for 2 years, which is pretty amazing. They
Nice.
said, so just to be sure, if I, random person number one, find a relic and am not part of a group slash community slash guild, do I just leave it where it is? Or does it as it doesn't does it as it provides me with nothing? Not complaining, just curious what incentives a solo player
Ooh,
has for relics.
that's a great question. So if you're a solo player and you find a relic out in the wild, what do you do? Well, in that situation, I mean, in the desire here is that like you have information now. As an individual player, you have information that a lot of other players are really interested to know. And though those other players that are interested to know that are probably going to be part of more orchestrated and organized groups that have a lot of financial wherewithal to pay you for that information. So the question is, do you want to secure the reward, take it to a location that might not be disclosed, advertise the fact that you have awareness of this, and talk about whether or not you want to sell that information and or sell this thing to a group? Leverage that, right? That's power. Knowledge is power. Having that resource now is power that you can sell to other groups that are interested. That would be, and what I think is the more compelling gameplay option there, right? Is the little finger of AOC? I see somebody in chat says exactly right.
Someone told
Information.
them just get a guild in the chat.
Well, I mean, you could get a guild, but
Some
I
people
mean
don't want to
at
though.
that
Yeah.
point you're selling your information slash power for, the relationship now that you're going to get in that build, and that might be your objective, or your
But even
objective
as a
might be more
solo
coin related.
player, don't you still, I mean, you still get advantages from being a citizen of a node. So
For sure.
bringing that relic to the node can still give you advantages even if you aren't part of a guild or
Yeah,
like a little community. So
yeah, you're lawful good. That's a lawful good mentality, 100%. Like, hey, the progression of society is important. You're a part of a community, whether you're an individual or not. Like, it takes a village to build a node. But there are some people that might not be lawful good, that might be more neutral evil, or whatever, and they want to get paid. So the point is that these are tools for you to manifest and role play as is important to you, and there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. So to Margaret's point, like, you're good-hearted, you want to benefit your server, your node, be that guy or girl, cool, do that. But if you want to be the different type, you can do that too.
What's funny is we internally one time, Steven and I and a few of us were all trying to like guess what our alignments were. It was just a group of us when we were out at lunch one time. I can't remember what we were doing.
Yeah, but
Um,
oh, go ahead.
no, go for it.
No, I was
I
just
was
going to
going to
say,
move on to the next
to
thing.
to more fundamentally answer the question though, these relics are targets of nodes, right? They are to be acquired by nodes. They're important to nodes. So can you take this back to your freehold and harvest the relic yourself and just be an individual token there? No, you can't. You're going to need some way for this to be delivered to a node, whether it's yours or not. And how you choose to do that is really where the rub lies for your benefit.
All right. And then moving on to our other reminders. We have the Alpha 2 Phase 2 extension and Alpha 2 Phase 3 information. There's a lot here, so we want to kind of reconfirm some stuff, make sure everybody's aware. So the reasoning behind why we did the extension is to give us a little bit more time for implementing and testing our dynamic gridding, which is, pretty critical for improving gameplay performance in our densely populated areas. We've already got a lot of that stuff being worked on the back end. It's being promoted up, so it's pretty exciting. We'll be having that in players' hands very soon, which we are hopeful that it will help us with our performance needs. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that, Stephen. Otherwise, I'll go
Yeah,
down the list.
which was this topic? It
This
was
was dynamic gridding.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, right now, the Intrepid Net team and the Engine team have been doing a great job in standing up the dynamic gridding for testing on our lower branches. And now it's moved into a phase where our gameplay engineering teams are kind of rooting out the last remaining bugs that certain systems have in interacting with the dynamic gridding. We'll probably talk a little bit with this about this with Zach. He's a part of our group that we're going to be playing through. He's one of our technical directors, obviously brilliant when it comes to, what is intended behind our networking system, as he's the original author of that. But the goal here, obviously, with dynamic gridding is that by the end of June and in July, we are testing dynamic gridding in the extended phase 2 live version, whether that be across PTR or that be across the production environment. This is now the route that dynamic gridding has to becoming live. And that is, still outstanding work that some of the gameplay engineering teams have to make sure that all the systems and the critical bugs that we've identified are addressed, which we have now quantified. And that's why I can give you a general timeline for this, because that scope is understood.
And then, of course, we are going to be introducing our second starting area, the Anvils, which we'll talk a little bit about in our next segment coming up, or one of our segments that is coming up, and a revamp to our questing and first-time user experience system. We are going to be putting some dev discussions out potentially about that as well to get your guys' feedback on. So
Yeah,
definitely keep a lookout for that.
I do want to touch on that point.
We're going to
You
have a
know,
whole segment for the Anvils, so I don't know if you want to talk about it in that.
I just wanted to touch on the player feedback for
Go
first
for
time
it.
user experience. So we are going to be distributing a dev discussion with regards to these Fatui systems, or the first time user experience systems. And, obviously we want to collect player feedback because there's a wide range of ways that games can handhold players across the introduction to a world and systems. Now, in alpha, obviously, we don't have a lot of those systems stood up quite yet because we're still refining the core gameplay loops as part of the testing environment. And so we took a very preliminary early pass on some of the basic requirements of the Fatui system with regards to the Riverlands and the initial Alpha 2. So when you do engage with this dev discussion, kind of pay homage a little bit in referencing what MMOs had really good onboarding systems. what you liked about them, what was good about it, what were the things you enjoyed that they stayed away from, um, because we want to help inform how we now, when we are going to be spending time on Fatui systems for the Anvils and refurbishing kind of the starting experience in Riverlands, how we approach that with keeping in mind what our audience enjoyed about these other games. So participate in that dev discussion. It's very helpful for us.
And then we are also going to be doing some ongoing server worker and realm performance improvements, which will help us lay a stronger foundation for scalability. Our transition to Unreal Engine 5.5, which is also going to improve some of our tools, performance, and development flexibility. Pretty big. So far, the integration with that has been pretty good as well, similar to dynamic gridding. I think it's on the same timeline as far as moving up into up our branches. It's on one of our lower branches, but it's looking
Mhm.
good, which is
Yeah, yeah.
exciting.
And that's something that Zach has been spearheading absolutely. There's a lot of interesting systems that come along with 5.5 as an upgrade. We're actually skipping a version in this upgrade. I think we're still on 5.3. We're going to be moving straight to 5.5, as Margaret said, over the course of the next week or so. That's a big change for us. Anytime you do one of these engine upgrades, there are a lot of trickle down effects that can occur across some of your bespoke gameplay systems and or in our case, a very bespoke network layer that needs to be kind of rectified. Those conflicts need to be addressed before we can actually permeate that engine upgrade across all of our branches. So that's a big, intensive process for us, but it's one that's been going pretty well.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about maybe more of that next month. QA wants to come join us too, maybe on a live stream to talk a little bit about their testing and the things that they've been working on. So it could be pretty exciting to see all of that stuff. So for those of you who are interested in tech stuff, we'll get into it.
Why is the
Um,
word bespoke on the bingo card? What is a bit what is what
because you
is
say bespoke a lot.
oh, it's
You
just a
say it a
word.
lot.
It's just a
I
I
know.
say
I don't
the
know.
word the a lot.
Well, bespoke is a very different word.
It's a very bespoke word, you might say.
Yeah. I think penultimate too. People are always like, who
Oh
says that?
no.
Because it's just such a weird word.
Okay.
I say that one. I don't know why, but I just do.
All hail
Um,
thee.
we like to use our words. Steve and I are crafters of words. We have a significant economy and stat balancing effort that is going to be happening over the next 3 months in preparation for a really solid phase 3 start. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that, Stephen, but that is another
Which
reason
one
for
was
this
it? I'm sorry.
extension.
I was distracted by chat.
Um, our economy and stat balancing efforts over the next three
Ooh,
months.
yes. Okay, so couple of points here. There is obviously a lot of work that's intended to be delivered by the time we have our August 4th phase 3 start. That is going to be work that's done over the course of the next 3 months. I know that Corey and Mike and myself and Bill and Rhett, we're going to be working with narrative and trying to identify, a lot of the changes that we already intend to provide during that period of time, getting those in and tested on PTR. For tomorrow, for the fresh start that's tomorrow, and let me back it up actually for a second. We initially did not plan to have a fresh start for May 1st. We intended initially to announce a extension of the phase 2 and to do a server merge approach that we were going to be testing. Obviously our database migration scripts and how we can merge servers and or transfer characters and whatnot with that extended period of time. That was not something that was overly desired by the community. And I think we saw that when we made the announcement and initially launched the article. There was an overwhelming request for us to do a fresh start server on May 1st, regardless, which is cool. Like the whole reason we do this transparent development process, engage with the community, have these monthly development updates, talk in Discord and engage with everybody is because we want to deliver ultimately on what the audience wants. And what the audience wanted here, our testing audience, was a fresh start for May 1st. So I called a little bit of an audible, which can happen from time to time and can be somewhat of a little bit of a chaos starter, but that's okay. It happens. And I said, let's do a fresh start. Now, I did see a couple of content creators talk about the communication flub there and like why why we didn't kind of give more advance notice of that. And that's because it wasn't intended. And we had to kind of pivot and move on our feet, which is okay. We're good at that. We're reactive. We're very capable of doing that. And we've updated the article since to kind of talk about that. Now, with this fresh start, we had to expedite the delivery of some economic changes because if we're going to fresh start, we do want to test some elements of the economy that we wanted to adjust. And let me bring up just so I make sure I'm not missing anything here. Let me bring up where that sheet went. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't totally prepared for this question. Okay, here we go. I have it. So with the changes that are going to be landing tomorrow, the econ design team has done a great job in trying to facilitate this as a disruption to their intended sprint to deliver for May 1st. But we are going to be reducing vendor inventories off of the bat. And what that means is currently within the game, obviously we have a wide array of level 5 through level 10 and just a bunch of other like craftable items that exist on vendor tables. Well, we're going to be significantly reducing that. And the reason why is because over the course of the last few months, having played in phase 2, that has been somewhat of a stopgap measure to supplement the fact that we didn't have a lot of strong quest representation or content representation that might accommodate or induct players into that power progression curve as you kind of level up. And by removing these from the vendor list, we now are going to be placing a heavier emphasis on crafters, gatherers, and processors to deliver on these needs, supporting a strong supply and demand economy, which we think is going to be beneficial. In addition, we're going to be reducing the amount of gear that's dropped by enemies. So that is a blanket kind of reduction of drop chance for completed gear items, and allowing, again, crafters to be the central point where players have to interact with, engage with, discuss with, talk about, hey, I need gear, craft this shit for me so that I can perform in these environments. We think that's going to be a very positive thing as well. We are also increasing the quantity of ingredients for recipes. This is across the board. This is now a conversion ratio where you have raw goods that get converted at a higher ratio to processed goods, and then that's required for materials of these recipes as well. And then lastly, we did expedite the introduction of the static rarity changes so that on May 1st, we will not see static rarity. This is kind of a temporary solution that we're using until the full system is delivered on May 8th, which was the intended delivery date for production. That work is still done. It's down in our QA branch. It's getting tested. But for May 1st, we will not see static rarity. We're just going to be doing it a backhanded way for about a week. And then lastly, what we've discussed is we're also going to be adjusting the amount of glint that's dropped by enemies. Some of the higher end enemies were dropping a little bit too much glint. So we're going to be adjusting that a little bit. So these are a lot of just kind of like, from the hip changes for the May 1st fresh start. But we think
Well,
it
the
represents some of
initial
the pain
changes you
points.
talked about
Yes.
before the static respawn stuff is going to be over the next 3 months, right? And the static
No,
respawn.
those changes that I just announced, those will be in for May 1st.
Okay.
Yes.
This section was not about that. This section was
Oh,
about
my
the stuff
bad.
that's going to happen over the next 3 months.
My bad.
Yeah.
Over the next 3 months,
Later,
we're
we were
going.
going to talk about the static
Yes.
respawn, but I thought you were
Okay.
just moving it up. So I was like, oh, okay, we're
No.
going to talk about that.
No. Everything I just announced is for May 1st. The
Okay.
static respawns included. Over the next 3 months, we're going to be taking a much more fine-tooth comb to balancing resources, recipes, spawn times, vendor tables, a lot of stuff that goes around with the economy. That's going to be much more granular approach over the next 3 months. Everything I just announced previously is for tomorrow.
Okay. And then the introduction of the Pyre, Renkai, and Nikuin races with all their armor sets, along with our last archetype, the Summoner. So we have a lot of stuff that we're working on prior to the Phase 3 launch. So I know folks are going to be excited. We understand that extending Phase 2 might not be everyone's cup of tea, but that's what, we keep saying development is a moving thing. We're going to consistently just try to keep you guys updated. We did try to update whenever we made the article updates in Discord as well, just so people were aware. Not the best case. We don't always want to just be updating things, but as information was coming our way and changing, we were just trying to make you all aware of those changes as they came through, and the adjustments that we did. Um, for testing access, Alpha 2 Kickstarter pre-order backers and Alpha 2 first and second wave bundle holders, as well as Alpha 2 third wave bundle holders, will now gain access to the extended phase 2 period beginning May 1st. We might have let some of those phase 3 wave 3 folks in today. So if you are
Yes, that's
one,
right.
we give you a little extra time. So definitely we'll be sending an email about that. But you should probably be able to log in the site and see the download link as well. But yes, that is all going forward now. So we're very excited to have everybody joining us, and we hope that you have a lot of fun and help us really put the realm to the test. Obviously, testing schedule now through August 4th will still stay as a 5-ish day per week schedule. Sometimes we do keep it up longer. Those of you who have been with us over the last few months have already seen how that process works. So nothing is really changing on that front. Starting August 4th is when we will switch over to 24/7 live schedule with downtime for maintenance and scheduled updates. We'll try to keep you guys aware of when those will be. They'll probably be similar timeframes, Tuesday and Wednesday timeframes, because it allows us to react to things throughout the week if we need to make any changes. But we'll keep you guys informed about those downtimes whenever they do come. During the extended phase 2 period, we will have intermittent periods of full week testing where our servers are kept live through extended periods. So keep an eye on our Discord news, our Alpha 2 news channel. Keep everybody informed on those timelines and server updates.
Yeah.
We are not. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do want to address one other thing.
Yeah, go for it.
In the announcement of the Fresh Start server for
Oh,
tomorrow.
we're gonna
Oh,
talk about that in
oh,
like
I'm
literally the next
so
segment if
sorry.
you want.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
gonna wait.
I
No,
just
no,
no,
you
you're
go.
okay. I just want to
I
make
didn't
sure I
get a
get
chance to
like
look at the Reddit show at all, so I'm just kind of preempting probably everything you probably already have planned. So I'm just gonna wait. You tell me when.
No, it's okay. We are not currently announcing an end date for Alpha 2. I know that everyone wants to know when it's ending, but as it is expected to last until the start of beta, when it will become the new PTR. So we'll share additional details for our long-term goals on that time and as that timeline comes closer, but it will be a while. So you know, it will be worth your time and efforts to play and hang out with us and test over on the Alpha 2 realms our realm at the current moment. Now we're moving into wipe, fresh start, and
There we
merge notice
go.
stuff. We know that this section changed a lot over the time. Like Stephen had said earlier, we did react and change some things based on external player sentiment as well as internal changes based on our team's needs. Obviously, we wanted people to test the merged realms. So for us, it was very important for us to have everybody involved in that. But we knew that if we put the fresh start realm up by itself, or with the merged realm,
Competing.
it would
Yeah.
be competing, and then the people who want to help us with the realm merge testing would be like, well, now I'm behind because I'm not so what we
Yep.
decided to do instead was do some PTR testing on on Tuesday, which we already did, and then
Mhm.
today on Wednesday we are now currently testing the Resna merged realm test at the moment. And then tomorrow we will move to Shoal, which is our full fresh start realm. There is a whole new server worker configuration. There's a lot of performance stuff that we're going to be monitoring. It is going to be a big stress test for us over the next 3 months to really see how things are progressing. So we understand it's not ideal for everybody. We did try to go with US East to make it as
Yes.
useful as possible for folks. I know that EU folks, it's not the best case for you guys, but we are just trying to get everybody together on one realm in order for us to really test things out and make sure that it's running
Yeah,
smoothly for
and that's
us.
kind of what I wanted to speak to.
Yeah, go for it.
I saw a Reddit thread that was like, there will be no more EU realms. Well, that's not entirely true. So while our goal and our desire is to funnel as high of a concurrent player population as possible on a single realm, for a few reasons. One, the playable space has significantly expanded. significantly, right? And comparatively to what we launched with on December 20th. So just over the course of the last several months, we have expanded significantly into the Sand Squall Desert. We've stood up the Turquoise Sea, and now the Jundark is available. And this is a lot of playable area. And we now, with our server gridding, are capable of hosting a large number of server workers across this grid. And we want to see what it looks like when we break our historical server concurrency numbers, which, were previously like 7 or 8,000, I think, and who knows, with tomorrow it could get up to higher than that, which is a great test for us. And when we do get to the point where dynamic gridding comes online for testing, we want to ensure that player density within the world in June and July, and also the spread of player latency as connecting to the realm indicates where we might have problems and where we can adjust. So it is a desire to localize the current testing population onto a single realm. Now, that comes with some considerations that we have to make with regards to the location of this realm. And the location that best makes sense in our minds is US East, because the latency connecting from Europe to the US East is probably about 100 to 120, 140 or so ping. Now, at that value, you should not experience significantly degraded performance within Ashes. The types of gameplay that we have, the way we've authored that gameplay, should accommodate those types of latencies. So we want to hear from you as you're experiencing that. It does not mean that we are going to be removing EU realms for phase 3. EU realms will be reintroduced at the start of phase 3. And I understand that, there might be some disgruntledness amongst our testers who are EU driven. But I want to remind everybody that the purpose of testing for us, and we are an NA studio, we are a North American studio, we're a smaller team. We're not a massive multi-billion-dollar publishing company that has launched the world's most successful MMO yet. But we are a company that is localized here on the West Coast in California, and we need to make sure that we're accommodating the times of our and the schedules of our employees, our developers, who can respond, react, observe, and profile what I like the Jensen. Thank you. Who profile the game that we're administering. So some consideration on behalf of our EU players for this decision over the course of the next 3 months. We will have EU realms again. They will come online August 4th, but in the meantime, help us test in this setting.
And we may, just to clarify too, because you say realms, we may
Yep.
only have one NA and one EU realm. It depends on like what we're looking at based on performance and stuff like that as we move forward.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely.
there may be
And
multiple
and and
realms,
I
there
and
may
I
be
do
one, and
and I
we'll
do just and I do just want to reiterate, we love our EU players.
100%.
We love our EU
And
community.
to be
We
clear, a
have
lot of
significant goals to support our EU community when it comes to community positions that we're opening, the publishing that we
language.
intend to do, and language support for EU. So keep in mind, this has nothing to do with that. This is about what's best for testing the product right now for our long-term goals.
Yeah, and on that note, I've talked to my team about this and Web about this in the past.
We
One
do
of the
love our
things,
Aussies too. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, one of the things that I've always wanted to make sure I'm able to do at a company someday is fair and even communication across all of the regions. I feel like it is something we can do whenever we get to that point. So I'm excited to be able to do that. I know that that's not always the case for North American companies, but I think like that is our end goal. But right now we're focused on just alpha testing, and we only have it in English, so we're just really focusing on what we need to do. Um, and I have been in talks with a lot of EU guilds, and some of the folks in leadership over there who have been running things. And a lot of them were like, "Hey, we were going to move to Shoal anyway." So I think that I know that's not everybody, but we definitely were trying our best to listen and hear. And we hear you guys, we understand. And I think a lot of it wasn't necessarily, Stephen, the moving or removing the ERM, is how quickly the communication went and how fast that
Yeah,
went. And we
it's
totally
a it's a
understand.
it's a byproduct of us
Yeah.
being nimble. Like we again, and just to go back to that point, this was not the intended trajectory of testing for extension of phase two. This was us responding to the community's outcry of desire. And whenever we do that, expect that things aren't going to be super smooth on the communication front because I can say a thing and that's cool. But then I have to go pay those receipts down, which means I have to go talk with my development team. I have to say, what does it take to achieve what I've just said? Can we achieve that? Okay, if we can, then when can we have it online and tested by? Cool. And then we come back and I'm like, Margaret, you can now update the article.
I'm
Communication is
doing it as
confirmed.
soon as I can.
Exactly.
So my team is definitely trying to get that communication out to you guys as soon as possible, and we did try to like let you guys know exactly what was being changed in the article in our post in Discord. So we tried to make that as clear as possible and communicate as much as possible. But we totally understand there's, uh, the problem there was more the communication and how quickly it turned around. Like Steven said, we were reacting very quickly on our end as well. So
Yep.
just iterating. So that is the big reminder here. I know we talked a lot about it, but hopefully that has answered a lot of questions for folks. When we get to August 4th, we'll have more information in regards to what realms will be available then. And we did announce that, or we did make a note here that there is potential that we may wipe on August 4th, but we're just kind of giving folks a heads up that that may happen. That is not necessarily something that we're planning to do, but it kind of depends on if there's, data that we need to swap or move around or what the back end of things look like on our front, as far as that goes. I think we got everything. My
Did
big
we?
thing for that is just going to go to Alpha 2 News. Stay tuned over there. We'll keep you guys updated. We do our best to keep you updated and informed over there. If you are not on our Discord, we implore you to go over there. With that, moving on to the next thing.
Ooh.
Dev discussion, rogue archetype. The rogue is live. For those of, I know there's still some people who maybe haven't gotten to hop in and check it out, but I implore you to go check it out. The rogue is pretty cool. Grappling action, like
Yeah,
there's
how's the rogue been going? I mean, in chat, do we have hearts for rogue? Is there sad for rogue? Has rogue been good? I mean, what I've been seeing is that the rogue is nice and a lot of fun. I mean, obviously balance and changing whatever we need to do that comes later, but like the general
it's like
gameplay loop of
overwhelming love.
OP. Oh shit, look at all this. Okay,
So
big
we'll
W's and hearts. That's good.
if you are playing the rogue, we implore you to head over to our rogue archetype dev discussion.
I looked over at Bucky and he's just like, yeah.
Nice. I love that. Um, Head on over to our dev discussion. We are putting, a report together. What we're looking for is what feels fun and what doesn't. Which abilities do you like best? Which do you not like? Which do you feel need the most improvement? Visual effects, sound effects. Give us your feeling about those, as well as the class mechanics advantage. How does it feel to generate the resource and to spend it? Give us some information on how you're feeling about that, as well as the rogue stealth. How does it feel to use it in PvP versus PvE, as well as tangentially the dagger weapon combos as well. So if you have any feedback on that stuff, if you've been enjoying it or not enjoying it or enjoying elements of it or whatever it may be, definitely head on over there. We're going to be compiling that here pretty shortly. So if you want your information put in there, get in there. We will next up have a naval system dev discussion coming up soon, as well as the other one that I had mentioned about the first time user experience. So keep an eye out for those ones that are coming up. We also are hiring still. We have a whole bunch of roles that are up and available for folks. Please apply if you haven't yet. We'd love for you to join our team and be a part of this. Look at that beautiful walrus.
Oh, is the
Yeah,
walrus on there?
he's so
Oh,
cool. He's such a cool mount.
I mean, look at his
Um,
face. He's just so docile. He's like, yeah, I'm floating.
Frost was playing with him in the game. It was pretty cute. He just looks really funny on land. But yeah, if you know somebody who could fulfill one of these roles, let them know. We also have a general role. So if it's not one of these roles and you're still interested in working for us, you can apply with that one. And we're always looking for talent. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to fill those roles, but those are the roles that we're really looking for. Um, yeah, so I think that that's the
Z
big
wants to
thing.
know if we can name the walrus Doug.
Sure. That one,
Doug the
that specific
walrus.
one is named Doug. Our staff member named Doug. We have
Perfect.
multiple Dougs in our company. They're going to be like, yeah, that's a good name. And then I was going to talk about the update notes in regards to highlighting gathering
All
static spawning,
hail
but Steven
Doug.
already did that.
Oh, my
So
bad. Okay, cool.
I think we're good. Hopefully on the reminders. Now let's move on to Turquoise Sea Preview. We have a little video for you all, so buckle in and enjoy. And I'll just cringe over here listening to my own voice in a recording. So
Well,
have
those
fun,
are
enjoy the
best.
video. We'll see you in a bit. Hello, glorious adventurer. Welcome to the Turquoise Sea. If you're looking for sun, salt, and adventure, you've come to the right part of Vera. Keep in mind, Alpha 2 is in an early testing phase in which we are continually updating. Naval travel is the name of the game out here. You'll be sailing between islands, exploring vast coastlines, and uncovering ancient secrets. Trust me, what you see above the waves is only half the story. Ready to dive a little deeper? The tropics are packed with pocket dungeons. Small, deadly, and absolutely worth the risk. Higher Spire Vent is an active lava vent, surrounded by obsidian tunnels and volcanic eruptions. Molten beetles and elementals roam these fiery caverns. You've been warned. Moltrock's Fall is a massive cenote where a giant bird statue once plummeted into the island's heart. Now it serves as the shadowy sanctuary of Casatl, a Slade-born scientist obsessed with flight. The Isle of Bones is a graveyard of titans, its shores and valleys littered with remains of creatures long dead. Towering giants now call this place home, wandering among rib cages the size of ships. Tread carefully, adventurers. Think you've seen it all? Beneath the waves, something vast and vengeful awaits. You'll know it when you see it, unless it sees you first.
Unless
All
it
right.
sees you first. Oh my gosh, that's scary.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to fight that guy yet. I know that a lot of people we kind of give a little sneak peek of that creature. It's not completely ready, obviously. I saw a lot of people in the YouTube comments are like, it doesn't look the same fidelity as everything else. It's like, yeah, man, we're
Hey,
showing
it's
you
not
things that are
ready
early.
yet.
It's work in progress.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, it's still work in progress. There's still some goodness coming down the line. But I wanted to give you kind of a little bit. I believe that one is his name like a
Adobua, Adobua,
Adobua the
o, o,
Hungerer.
Adobua. It's
It's
Adobua. It's
Oudoubua for the
it's pronounced
the lore junkies.
Adobua.
The
Adobua.
Hunger. And that is the Titan Kraken.
Somebody said Adobe.
Adobe.
Oh, it's not
There
called
you go.
Adobe, and forever now it shall be known as Adobe. I'm just kidding.
Don't come at us, Adobe.
Oh no.
Um, so this creature was swelled up by the Ember Scar's power and but corrupted, exalted by the Sladeborn, right? So the Sladeborn are in cahoots with this
Right.
guy.
Yes.
Um, and it's been channeling gross stuff into the sea and
Chicken adobo.
divine rot goodness. So yeah, that's what's been corrupting the oceans over there.
I like nice said yabba dabba do squid.
Um,
Oh, it's too good.
but there's quite a bit of lore here. I don't know if we want to go through all of this, Stephen, if you're okay with sharing some
Oh, I
deets
don't know
out
that we
here.
should go into the super lore.
Okay, just
But
give the
but
little teaser of the Kraken lore.
yeah, I think that obviously with now having brought caravels online and Navy online just at the end of last month, You're going to be seeing some iteration to the boats, to the water. You're going to start seeing potential content, whether that be some, deep sea fishing and or some, this little
We're
this
gonna need a bigger boat,
Adobe
Stephen.
Kraken, or I'm sorry, Adobe Kraken. Yes, you are going to need a bigger boat for sure. There are bigger boats in the
Speaking of bigger
plans.
boats, there are bigger boats coming, right?
Yes.
We may do some future updates in regards to talking a little bit about that as well. So stay tuned. Then with that, we will move on, if we're not going to go over too much more, to the Anvils. So heading on over to the Anvils, we have some concept art that you might have seen before, but you might not have known what it was. So the Anvils is going to be our second starting area. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that and how that's going to
Sure.
work and the plans for that. I do have a
Absolutely.
little bit of lore as well, potentially about the area if we want to go over that as well.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely we can. Anvils is going to be our second starting area on the continent of Andigar. So it has been a minute since we have stood up an additional starting area. Obviously, the goal for August 4th is not going to be that the starting area is comparable or equitable to the Riverlands. I don't think that's something that we're trying to target, obviously. But this is the Dunzenkel that we're going to be playing with. So you're going to see a lot of like inside the mountains, right? You're going to be seeing the ancient systems of the Dunes and Kel, capital city, and that new divine gateway that players are going to be able to select to go through. This is in the tabletop mountains, or the Anvils as we call them now, which means this is a relatively mountainous region. So a lot of your time is going to be spent in between inside the mountain and out of the mountain. And there's going to be a network of systems that can kind of take you in and between those spaces. For players as well. We're still going to follow the same paradigm that we did in the Riverlands, where we bifurcate the player base based off of those sub races. For the Dunes and Kel area, it's going to be the Nakuin versus the Dunir. Not versus, but you know what I mean. And depending on the path you take, the Nakua are a bit more seaworthy focused, whereas the Dunir kind of stick to their traditions of in the mountain. And the space is filled with these ancient forges that were once the great creation halls of the world of Era before the downfall. So a lot of the core and meta narrative within this space is, what have those forges been repurposed for? Right? What are the factions there that are left to kind of continually operating these forges, and to what end, for what purpose? So those are going to be the narrative elements that players are going to be able to investigate and uncover, and how it kind of ties into the grand tapestry of the world and the meta narrative as a whole.
Yeah, and I believe those are called the unyielding machine. Yeah, the Great
Yes.
Forges. So, very, very excited to have that. And I know that a lot of players were like, "Why don't you make another starting arrow?" Like, well, we are.
Oh yes,
Um,
absolutely. And just one other thing to point out also is that you have seen as part of our cadence over the release of Turquoise Sea and Jundark that we had a couple of back-to-back months where we released these areas in their very primal state, meaning primarily focused on like foliage, basic NPCs, pocket dungeons, resource and gatherables. And then afterwards we introduced the nodes and whatnot. The anvils are going to take a more extended time. So the anvils aren't expected to be test worthy until probably sometime in July, where we will then introduce them first on PTR. So they'll still be under visual NDA. And they are intended to launch with nodes already supported within the zone. So departure from what we did with Turquoise Sea, Sand Squad Desert, and Jundark. So keeping that in mind, this will be a fully fledged starting area essentially when we launch it for the August 4th release.
all right. And with that, I think we can pop into game and meet up with the rest of our crew. Unless there's anything else you want to
Oh,
add
how
on that
exciting.
front on the Anvils.
No, I don't think so.
All right, we'll mute
I think I
here and
hit a
we'll
lot of the points.
keep on over there and we'll pop into game. Hello, lovely people.
Why, hello there.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Hello, friends. Let me mute my Zoom. Apologies. Okay.
They're seeing all your lovely
Oh,
windows changes.
my bad. Okay, we are here. So we
You guys
are.
get to see all the behind the scenes details.
Oh, my bad. We are here. We are in the world on our merged server environment, and we have a crew with us today. Joining us are some regular faces, which you guys have heard from before. I don't know if we have any actual completely new faces. Do we? Do we have any? Do we have
I
any
don't think so. I
fresh?
think these are
Any
all
fresh meat today?
people who have been here. No fresh meat. All
No
all
fresh meat.
veterans.
Okay. Well, we got
Jocelyn's
some
probably
veterans.
the newbiest one, but
Yeah, I've only
All
been here
right.
once so far.
Well, welcome back, Jocelyn. Jocelyn, one of our glorious senior producers, who,
Thank you
without
very
which
much.
we could not account for the things we do or even plan for them. It'd be really difficult. And then we also
like
have joining us,
planning.
yeah, like Plannin. We also have Planendorf. Welcome, Planendorf. How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, another glorious day in Vera. I'm excited to run through this stuff with y'all.
Yeah, I
Look
see
at
you
his
have
giant weapon.
you got the Dash of Ire here. Very cool.
He
And then we
totally
have
earned it too.
Oh
Not.
yeah, totally. Yeah. Turns out the secret to great gear is having access to the GM client. Yeah.
we also have joining us, of course, our glorious director of design, Bill Trost. Bill, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Looking forward to dragging the whole team down.
What?
And then we have Jundark. I believe that is Jeremy, our glorious designer on the world team, the leader of the world team. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Welcome
Finishing off the
aboard.
Jundark this time.
Why is it? Hold on, let me make it go away. All right, how about now? Better? Okay. And then we have, of course, our glorious technical director, Zach. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are
Zach
you?
Strange, welcome.
Yes.
I was eating into the conversation of the dynamic gridding, and I didn't want to take too much away from.
Oh, we can talk a lot about dynamic gridding and 5.5. There's
Perfect.
a lot to talk about, right?
That's exciting. I
I feel
Sure,
like
I
there's going to be
butcher
like a whole stream just. Well, I mean, we already did one stream about it. We implore you to go check that out. That stream was
should.
pretty deep.
yes,
It was a very tech-heavy stream.
absolutely. And then am I missing anybody? Am I missing? Is there anybody else that I'm missing? Are we all here?
Generic already.
I think we did. Yeah, we got Jeremy.
We have
Okay,
a
then, yeah.
squire here, Lemony.
Lemony? Who's Lemony?
They're
Been
player.
protecting us.
This is a player.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh.
goodness. Oh,
The sass.
Better be careful.
right.
I love this view, by the way. This is just unbelievably beautiful. The turquoise.
Yeah, Jeremy,
sea.
if you want to talk a little bit about Jundark, give us some background.
Oh, we're in the
The
Jundark.
Jundark
That's right.
is the jungle south of Vandagar. It's an area that multiple empires have tried to conquer. No one's been able to do it. Taurans tried back in the day. Aelin's made some headway into it, but again, the jungle's kind of eaten all that up again. But maybe the players this time and their new nations can dig into this. This
Please.
area has been a
Sweet.
lot of hard work from Hans, Zach, and Tristan, environment artists, putting a lot of time and effort into this.
Our other Zach, not this Zach. Different Zach.
Not this Zach, this is Coders.
But this
Artist
Zach
Zach.
also did work, just different work. Well, in that case, let's head on over to Kraken's Belly, which is this giant cave over here. If you want to talk us through this while we fight through, we'll let Planendorf tank our way, and hopefully we don't die.
Good luck.
Kraken's
No
Belly
promises.
This was designed by Jess. This is a pocket dungeon that's a pirate hideout on the sea coast here. Yeah, they've got stashes of gear and loot that
Oh.
they've taken from ships. And now we're taking it back.
It is ours.
Whoops, my bad. How about now?
There we
There
go.
you
Uh-oh, did they not hear Steven's introing everybody?
Oh, no.
No.
No, they did.
Oh, maybe not.
Okay.
Lighting is a little hot. A little hot. Might be the time of day. I'm gonna adjust that slightly. There we
There
go.
are no lighting bugs in bossing. So I have no idea what
Holy
you're talking about.
smokes! Look at that eye adaptation, brother.
Oh, when you walk in, yeah.
Yeah.
Brinebeard is a named mob
Oh
in
goodness.
Yeah, be careful.
there. Stephen told
He's tough. Yeah.
half the room.
I'm sorry. I'm just going in and taking a look.
Steven,
Oh no!
gonna get us murdered.
It's the Steven pull.
Uh-oh.
Don't die.
Dwarf tank. Oh gosh. We're all.
Roach.
We got this. We got this. The pros.
Did I roach?
Between
I'm just
Jocelyn and I
I'm just
think we
looking
can
around
tank.
these pocket dungeons. These can be a little dangerous. I love the
Even says while he
connected
trains
spaces.
us with
Yeah,
everybody.
kick him from the party. He's just leeching XP. Come on.
Unbelievable. Looking at these beautiful spaces with these nasty like pitchforks down here, these bodies on. So you said these are where the pirates are kind of hanging out.
Where pirates from the Turquoise Sea have kind of dug a cave into the Jundark here to stash loot for southern transversing sea lanes and caravels and traders along the way.
Beautiful. It's very beautiful. And how many in the Jundark there are 8 pocket dungeons or 10?
There are 12.
12. Okay.
We're only going to check out a couple today. Otherwise, we'd be here all day. But
Yeah, it turns out there's a little bit of content out here.
yeah, when we get down the other area, yeah, there's a lot. And then I think one of them has like this really cool crystalline
Oh yeah, that one's really
base.
Yeah,
I think,
that one's cool.
the other one that we're going to go. Yeah. The Hollow Oracle. That's the one we're going to go
I think that
into
was
next.
one of our phenomenally talented environment artists really wanted
Oops.
to.
Sorry,
get that
Lemonios. I
little
accidentally hit
extra
you.
pop. Oh no! You know what?
No.
I
Lemony's in the
tabbed and
friendly
it
fire zone.
selected him. Luckily, I didn't do much damage. So.
Now, how many harbors have we set up in the Jundark?
There are 2. There's one on the western side and one on the southern side.
So there are 2 harbors that are in the Jundark, and there are 2 harbors that are in the Turquoise Sea.
Yep, 2 in the desert and 1 in Breezewater Bay for the Riverlands.
And I know that Systems is working on providing large commodity options as they kind of do the storage component work for the caravels. That's going to create an interesting trade route dilemma for the cats and the mouses out there with regards to naval movement.
Definitely. There's a trading post still out in the Turquoise Sea. That one is
I don't know what
still
happened to our tank.
south of Brine Barrel.
Oh.
And then there's a trading post where the future node of Vine Breach will be.
Very cool.
And those Jundark nodes will be coming really soon.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Jundark nodes are planned to be delivered at the end of May, I believe, right?
Yes, I believe so. And then
Cool. I'm digging the raptors.
is that the named?
Arnicle Bratton.
Yeah, Barnacle. Although Steven's not with us, so he's
No,
not.
the lighting in there was wigging me out a little bit. It was I could not fix it with the time of day change, so I decided to go
Okay.
explore the area outside.
Okay, we're fighting a named.
Nice. I love
All right,
the
I'll
I love
switch to the.
yeah, we can go to the next spot if you want to.
Yeah, I'll switch to the next one, and then I'll summon you guys there.
I
Sounds
love the
good.
the contrast in the colors. Honestly, with this space, the contrast on the rock faces and the dark greens with the foliage looks great.
Yeah, and I'm sure the environment artists would be first to say, like, there's still a lot we want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But I think we're kind of like we've been showing in the Turquoise Sea and then the desert before that. This is, kind of the phase 1, and then we,
Yes.
keep on layering those things on, which will be cool as we continue to get that time.
And you can
Absolutely.
see we ran into some trouble.
As the tank, I blame the healer.
I left you.
Oh, it's legit this time. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like I said, I was going to the other spot. I'm gonna
Oh,
summon
let
you
me
all
know
there.
where I should go to the next one. Oh, you're gonna summon it.
Yeah, I'll summon the whole party there.
I love the dense foliage feel of this space. Now, there is some intent to do an additional pass here from, obviously, from the environment artist and include some more kind of canopy-esque hero trees throughout the zone as well to kind of sell that more dense jungle vibe with
Yes.
the heavier vines from above and whatnot.
Yeah,
I
it's something we're
apologize
really
in advance. There is a basilisk here.
There's
excited.
definitely
Oh, no.
an intention
they're
for the
fun.
Jundark to be dark.
Say that again, Jeremy?
There's definitely an intention for the Jundark to be dark.
Absolutely.
This is just first phase, first pass. Want to get the land, the terrain in, get some nodes in, get some real node systems and vassal networks and all that set up.
This basilisk. So the basilisk has a little bit of for those of you who obviously are aware of what basilisks do, he has an ability that paralyzes you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
speaking of that, I mean, come on now. Look at you guys. Unbelievable.
I also may have pulled him into the optimal spot to
yeah. I was not in his
Paralyze
I
the
was
whole
behind
party.
him, and then
Everyone's got to get across from the tank.
I'm also the healer, so
As people may know, I am a bard main and a filthy casual, so I take no responsibility for any of this.
Oh, I was changing my bar. No, it petrified me. Where's the cleric to cleanse me?
I'm
Being-
CC'd still for
True.
20 million seconds.
I'm just gonna sit while you guys are CC'd.
I still have like 16 more seconds or something.
Well, those of you who have fought against the little flying dude, what's his name? Oculus,
Oculus.
Yeah.
will know the mechanic there. So look away. Look at this.
Also,
This is
don't have
beautiful.
your tank turn him on you.
Details.
I'm
I think it's
digging
just the
the
way you
vibe.
play Planendorf because you like to jump around, and when you're doing that as a tank, you just like you're swinging
Yep.
the creature around to everybody. All right,
Unbelievable
now we
plan.
go into the cave.
Keep it
This
to
is the
30
one with
seconds
the
to
really
cowards.
cool purple crystal.
Yeah. This
Oh,
is,
nice. Yeah, this one's really cool.
Yeah,
This is
hopefully
where
the lighting is okay.
Now, what's the name of this pocket dungeon?
This is
The
the
Hollow-
Hollow Oracle. Oh, sorry.
This is
Go
where
ahead,
shaman
Jeremy.
for the birdmen have
Blade
kind of made it
Bomb.
their own little area. They have Najash
Oh,
snakemen
he's behind you.
in
They came from behind.
alliance with them. So the Najash have really spread out and taken over a lot of the jungle area. They're the big threat out here. In the
Why are the
absence of
Najash here? Like, what are they? What are these snake people doing?
They're carving out an empire in the absence of the other exalted races, and now we've come back and they're not happy. We've kind of like intruded on their jungle area now.
They almost give me like Tulnar vibes.
Oh. Tolnar have legs.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Oh
That's the only difference.
Oh,
There are no other
no.
differences.
No.
Oh
Who
no!
Who brought the basilisk to the party?
Look, it wasn't me
I
this
think our
time.
whole
No
party is
idea.
It
our whole
wasn't me.
party.
I have no idea. That means it was Steven.
I have no
Oh
idea.
no! We're all gonna die.
No, just most of you guys. I'm fine. Don't worry.
Oh,
Here.
yep. That was me.
Now talk to me, Jeremy, a little bit about these spaces. Is this water in the? Oh, sorry. Is this water
Yes.
down here? What is this?
Yeah, these are water pools.
Okay.
They're a bit glowy right now, it looks like.
They are a little glowy, aren't they?
Everything's a little glowing here. Yeah.
We'll get some lighting on that.
Yeah, it did not look like that when Zach and I did our pass on it.
Beautiful interior.
Did you go show the crystal? Go find the purple crystal area, Steven.
I am trying to. I'm just gonna God mode past some of these things. Guys, I'm sorry for the bugs with the lighting on the interiors. We will get those addressed. As you guys know, we've been touching up lighting, and as we do touch lighting,
Okay,
it
sure.
has the potential to break some things.
Phil, I'm
But
gonna
we
get you out.
will fix them. Oh yes, the geodrome. That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is.
Although
cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And what's the story behind it? You said these are the snake men, and what's the geode doing in here in this pocket dungeon?
They built a shaman kind of oracle cave where the geode kind of magnifies or amplifies some of their divine abilities to divine things.
I like the Fresnel that we have on the crystals, but they need some type of emissive support as well, probably, to dial that up a little bit.
He's giving direction
Yeah.
live on the
Oh, I'm
stream.
sorry.
Producers, please. I think
Producers?
Gunther's.
Yeah, we've got
and
no,
where's
we've
he
already
at?
got it
Did you
noted.
take
No
a note
worries.
of it?
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just
Sorry.
a play test. Just our regular play test.
Yeah.
Fire notes out at producers to
I
take.
immediately went into that mode. I forgot we were in a live stream. Oh no. I got hit by
So
another
Jeremy, I
basilisk.
know we don't have any of our like direct.
A relic has been spawned.
Whoa.
Whoa.
The fallen Anvil has
Oh,
spawned
nice.
within the castle.
Someone tell Dusty.
That's Befallen Forge, yeah.
Yeah. Jeremy, did you want to talk about some of the kind of like wider zone lore for the Jundark? Like kind of.
Yeah, I got it at the
He
top.
did that
but,
at the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Ethan wasn't listening to you.
Yeah,
Volume-
it's a tough
volume too
area
loud.
that, with a lot of resources that
Oh.
different empires have tried to take over history, and they've found it very difficult to do so. The Tauren Empire tried to do it at the top of their golden age. The Aelan Empire later, after the Tauren Empire fell, tried to make headway into it. It's just been a real difficult place for people to make inroads into.
The Jundark devours empires.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
That is true.
We're all alive. We made it. Let's, oh yeah, there's Steven. Like, is Steven
I'm
with us?
here. I'm alive.
You're alive.
It's hard for them to kill me though. I set my health to like 500,000. All right, where are we going to next?
All right, let me head on over there. Now we're going to head on over to the Turquoise Sea. We're going to do a little event over there.
Ooh, that's exciting. Set my artisan. Oh. I'm collecting some volcanic rock. Yeah, so the merge went pretty well in the testing that we did. I mean, there were a couple of bugs, but I think as an initial test, and even though we only got a day in for today to kind of identify things, I think it went pretty well, right, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, most people people have their characters, their inventory, like the basic stuff. I think it went pretty
Nice.
well in general.
And I know you've been pretty heads down with the 5.5 upgrade. How painful
Yeah.
has that been?
I mean, I didn't do the 427 to Unreal 5 merge, but I've done
Oh,
every
God.
single other ones, right? And this has been the worst one by far.
Oh no.
Like Vera didn't load at all. I guess to give some context, like our map didn't load at all. The networking stack was completely broken.
Oh. And
What
talk
else
people a
was
little bit
there?
through what that means. Like as those things, are problematic and we see the bugs that happen with it, how do you go about kind of addressing them and fixing them? What's the process?
Well, it kind of depends, right? Like on the thing. Firstly, it's usually the person who is doing the engine upgrade. Me, I take a stab at trying to see if I can fix it. If I can't, then we start having other departments pull the 5.5 stream because this isn't on our main development path yet. And they come in and they start and they fix things so that we can get the goal is basically to get the game into a testable state so we can have our QA go in, do their pass, and we can find all the broken things. But there's a lot of work to get to that point at all.
Is everyone here? The event has started.
Still loading.
Okay. We need to kill these sea-spirited marauders.
Alrighty, let's do it.
Let's
What are we
do it.
killing?
We're doing the Snatched from the Sea event, and the first objective is to reclaim the island from the sea-spirited. We gotta kill these guys.
All right.
You gotta stop moving around, Tank.
Yeah, that's what I told. That's what I was saying. Is he
Stand
likes to
still.
move around a lot.
Look, I want to keep it interesting for everyone, right? So, you're welcome.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The hardest part is when there's mobs who've done it.
Just go everywhere.
I'm gonna set my cooldowns to 0.
Leinendorf's making all of the melee people lose their minds.
Yes.
I didn't hear anyone else volunteer for tank. Come on, Bard maid. Come on.
Turn off my.
Who are all our tank mains in at Intrepid? We need to make sure we always have one.
Yeah.
Honor's down.
Hey, we only die when the cleric left. I'm just saying.
That's true. It was because I left. I was keeping you all alive even though the chaos was ensuing.
That's interesting. I set my intelligence through the roof.
But you're not doing much damage.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
Ooh, looks like we're almost done with the objective. We got a few more.
There we go.
The bar is filling up.
Nice.
Oh, chat's pointing out that the DR probably still applies to our set stat thing.
Yeah, that is right. I forgot about that. I should override that. Good call. Well done, chat.
Yeah, thanks, chat.
You reminded me.
Hey, look, this is such a partnership here at Intrepid with our community and the development team. We really appreciate it.
I forgot I asked Bucky to add the power curve on the DR for like 2 weeks ago.
Someone else is wanting us to nuke you, Planendorf. What did you do?
What?
I know,
Oh,
I don't know.
That's Richie. That's just because, I get him killed every time we group up.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I'm gonna have to
Alright.
tank main next time.
Do it. Please get me off of this. Get me off of this class. I don't know how to play.
Wait a minute. You don't
There
know
it
how to
is.
play tank?
I overcame the DR.
There
I
you
went
go.
straight to the waterfall.
Wow, that
How many we
died
gotta kill?
fast.
Yeah, how many do we have to kill here?
At least one more.
It didn't
would
have a
seem.
number.
The bar goes down, not up.
Yeah, so
Oh.
we need to do a lot.
Oh, we need to kill a
More.
lot then. Okay.
All right, so I'm just gonna aggro
whole island?
everything. Yeah.
Pull it all.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna get us killed. I'll just go kill a
No.
few more to move us along.
Oh. Nah, it'll be fine.
Cheats, no cheats.
Wow. Steven on high. Death from above.
It's so good. It's so good.
This is why we need to make it so that the GM caravels can deal damage to mobs, so we can Flying Dutchman over things and just rain down.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh, there you go. There's another
Oh my god,
assassin
where's everybody going?
to the creatures.
We're gonna find them first.
I know I killed a bunch of the ones over there already.
I'm looking for him.
Killing them faster than they respawn.
What's the respawn rate in here, Jeremy?
It's an event. You're gonna have to
Gonna talk to narrative.
Scott. I think Amy made this one.
Hashtag not it.
I also am like nuking some of them to move us along. Otherwise, we'll be here all
I'm
day.
digging the shipwreck stuff that they've added.
Oh, it's really nice. Olivia and
Oh, yeah,
Brianna
over
did
here.
really good work on those.
I'm looking for creatures, but there's none. We've successfully murdered me. Oh, okay, wait. Oh, it's going down. I see what you mean by
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Mhm.
We're almost there. Yeah.
And that shipwreck's gonna be using another pocket dimension coming to the Turquoise Sea, the wreck of the Sea Hammer that Ben is working on.
Oh, really? When is that?
The update at
it's
the end of May.
Dot 10, right?
Yep.
Yep. So that'll be coming out next week, right?
Next week, yeah, on the
Yeah.
8th, I think.
Yeah. More pocket dungeon, a couple more pocket dungeons coming out.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
More content is good content.
So, Zach, we were talking a little bit during the before we came in game about the dynamic gridding work and updates that we have. You want to touch on that a little bit? What's been going on with the gameplay engineering teams and kind of getting that stuff up and running?
Yeah,
Also, I
I
just
mean,
I want to make one note before you do that. If there's something already on the mark with the barrel, don't put the barrel on it again. It'll break it. Making a note. But go ahead, Zach.
yeah, I mean the goal right now is to get past the bot testing phase of dynamic gridding and just to smash all the gameplay bugs that we have. Because right now we have this epic that we're trying to just work through all the issues on, and then we want to get it in the hands of PTR. That's our next big goal. We want to start testing it with real players, because that's that is the direct pathway to getting in on prod. Right now, like I think you mentioned, Steven, we're running a lot of servers, especially for the soul fresh start. And once we have dynamic gridding online, we should be able to reduce that count majorly. Just because we'll be reacting as the world changes.
Nice.
Is that a good answer?
Yeah, absolutely. No, for sure. I think
I'm gonna start pulling the live Q&A questions too, if you're cool with that, Steven.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Down for that for sure.
So
Yeah,
the first one here. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, that's a great answer. I think a lot of people are going to be very interested to see dynamic gridding make its way to production, and we know that path is not going to be a super easy one. There's a lot of bugs that we're going to have to address as we move through the different gameplay engineering teams, kind of updating their systems to address those things. But so don't expect that we're going to release that at once and it's going to be all hunky dory.
No.
It's going to be something we're going to work through, and that's part of the intent of this extended phase.
Yeah, like dynamic gridding is something that hasn't ever been done before.
It's a major.
We don't expect it to be. We don't expect it to be bug free the first try. It's going to take many rounds of testing on the PTR before we are comfortable with shipping it to prod.
All right, sorry, Margaret, you can go for it.
No, go for it. I don't want to interrupt you. So the first question here is from our wonderful content creator, Nice Gaming, wondering when can we expect a fix for block chance as shield MS are currently useless.
So I did have a conversation with what? Say it again. Oh, sorry. I did have a conversation. I can hear myself through somebody. Oh, I think it might be Kyle. No. Oh, my bad. Okay. I did have a conversation with the combat team. That is the bug that they have pulled into this sprint. So we should see an update on that within the next couple of weeks for the passive block chance adding to the mitigation modifier.
Cool. Hopefully, I know that's going to make a lot of people happy because there's a lot of people talking about that. Faison wants to know, is guild storage on the priority list for the start of phase 3? Guild storage is constantly brought up.
Guild storage is definitely going to be in place before phase 3. That is absolutely a true statement. When it will come online, probably at some point in the I don't know, Jocelyn, do you know when guild storage is planning to be delivered? I know that's a systems team's question.
I can confirm it is on the schedule.
There you go. It is on the schedule. I would say, I mean, without Jocelyn giving the exact date, I would say probably within the next 3 or 4 releases, it's going to land.
And then Aiken wants to know, when will we see POIs for desert and tropics, or when will we see the hunting rework?
So the hunting rework, I know that that's something Corey and Jason were working on. I did get to play it with them a couple of weeks ago on our QA branch. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's interesting. I think players will enjoy that, absolutely. When it's going to make it to prod, probably within the next couple of releases-ish. Yeah, Corey's giving me a affirmative head shake. So, and then what was the other one?
The other one was, when will we see POIs for desert and tropics?
Yeah, so I mean, as we talked about over the course of the last few months, our main approach right now to expanding the world map is focusing on foliage, NPCs, pocket dungeon gatherables, right, in these spaces. Next up is Anvils. When we go back and we do the POI pass, right, we have our concept artists right now that are working in the background with our architectural modelers on the environment side that are preparing these POIs. Then we get to hand them off to the world team to kind of place them within the world. That's going to be a second pass approach. When we do that second pass is probably going to be sometime after August, I would say. So you're going to see some of these POIs start coming online outside of the pocket dungeons, of course, within these zones, in a similar approach that we took to standing up the zones initially. So probably start with desert, and then we'll move to turquoise, and then we'll move to Jundark. Jeremy, does that sound about right?
Yep, that would be the roadmap for it.
Cool.
All right. And then Ouija Board wants to know, any chance of world boss events ever triggering a temporary lawless zone, or some kind of event where maybe there's 3 to 4 sides that could be picked from?
There are absolutely going to be certain types of open world events that instigate alignment types of factions, right? Whether that's nestled within an event system or a narrative system to define those alignments, or it's as a result of spawning, a lawless territory to make it kind of a free-for-all. I think that is just tool sets that narrative has to work with, and our design team has to work with, and all of those are applicable. Obviously, as a PvX game, our focus is to try to make content that is compelling for character progression, but is also contested due to scarcity. And that lawless territory or that alignment system is helping to facilitate that friction.
All right. And then Vulcan wants to know, have two-handed mace, spear, and axe been fully backburned in favor of more pressing systems, or are they still on the way for phase 2?
I believe those are actually already done. The question is, what release are they a part of? And I don't know the answer to that. I think that they might be in the next 2 or 3 releases as well. Those additional weapons. If we want to have them bake a little bit longer, we might hold them until August 4th. I know that we're planning to have a significant amount of new content / features that are provided with the phase 3 launch. Some of that stuff we're going to be holding to get better quality bar for those things as we test them on our lower branches. That's kind of our shift in mindset right now towards how we treat phase 3. We'll figure out when those are planned and have some updates on the announcement of those systems.
We just need one more barrel, guys.
One more barrel.
And then the next question, for the event. And then the next question is, will EU and any node war times be available, or must the EU testers play on NA prime time? Are we going to change that a little bit for this?
I think we just
Realm
got the
specifically?
last barrel, by the way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Event difficulty changed to elite.
Interesting.
We have to
So it's-
defeat the
oh.
scallywag
Scallywags
crew.
are coming.
The scallywags are coming?
Yeah, they're coming. See them?
So-
Do you see them coming? They're coming.
Oh my god, they are coming.
The scallywags?
Named!
The scallywags.
Named! There's the tank.
Well, I have no response to that.
Oh shit. I'm killing some pirates.
Oh,
Scallywags.
this is a lot of scallywags.
Well, it did
next
say
question.
difficulty was elite.
It did.
I don't think we answered the question. Did you
Oh,
answer
sorry.
the
What was the
question?
question?
Will EU? I think we got distracted. Will EU and NA node war times be available, or will the EU folks have to play on NA prime time?
I think we'll probably keep that NA prime time for the next 3 months, which isn't. It should be U.S. East prime time. So that's probably going to be. I don't know
I
about.
think it
10,
currently
10
works
to
on
12.
Pacific time. I think
Yeah.
both U.S. realms worked on Pacific time, Stephen.
Although
Just
we
so
might,
you know.
we might update them to East then. And if we do that, then that means it'll probably be around 10 to 12 EU for
Ooh,
the next.
that'll help me. Nice.
There you go.
All right.
All right, there's gonna be another
Reward.
wave.
Did it.
so-
We succeeded.
Oh, we got a reward! Yay!
Do we PK all the other people on the island so it's only us that get
Mask nuke everybody. No, I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
fascinating.
At the start of the stream, you wanted to talk about the eco and stat changes for the next 3 months and what was coming on May 1st. Can you chat about that? We already chatted about that. I implore you to re-watch. We'll have this up and available for you. When will we see changes to archetypes that haven't seen new iterations in some time?
I'll let Staple live so that he can tell the tale. He's hiding
Yeah.
behind the tree effectively. I can't actually see him.
You killed the other one.
Yes, because that turtle is so small. The terrapin.
With the Santa hat on, man, that person
Yeah.
is dripped out. I love it.
Even
you-
going Voldemort.
Yeah.
Did you hear the question, Stephen?
Oh, sorry. What was the question?
When will we see changes to archetypes that haven't seen new iterations in some time?
Ooh, so I will say that at least as it relates to the skill trees, something that Bucky and the combat team are working on right now is updating skill trees with ranks per active ability. And I think the first one that's getting that pass is the cleric. When we will be releasing that is going to be before phase 3, sometime before phase 3 starts. But that will be across all of the archetype skill trees. And then if people are asking about like when will we take potential, oh, there's a boat over here. There's multiple boats over here. I will join you on one of these boats. If people are asking when will we take potential updates for abilities and doing additional passes on those abilities, that's something that's just kind of always going to be part of combat team's purview is doing some assessments of that. The actual overhaul of that I wouldn't expect until sometime after Summoner probably gets delivered. But it is something that we are working on. Somebody said I trust Planendorf with my life right now.
That's
Well,
a bad call, but
well, rip you. No, just kidding.
yeah, no joke.
Like he's running into the coast right now.
Look,
The next question is plans for increasing the level cap.
There are currently plans to increase the level cap as we kind of move through these additional zones getting stood up. Obviously, there's going to be content that comes online that's going to exceed the current level cap, and that plan is incorporated as part of both PC's goals and NPC and World. So when that happens, we haven't quite yet announced, but it will be at some point over the course of the next several months.
Yeah, the Jundark is to go to level 50. Right now, it's artificially, we got the level set to 30 because of the player level. But when that cap goes up, Jundark will get even more dangerous.
And then the next one here, our final one. We did more than 10 today. I think will there be more building interiors to explore in the towns and out in the world to give the RP community more to work with? Bonus, one will level 4 nodes and vassal ships be online. There's multiple questions in there.
That was a lot of questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. A couple of people did this.
To answer the question with regards to interior spaces, I think that as we continue to develop the nodes and buildings that are accessible within nodes, we're going to dial up those interior spaces a bit more. And then what were the other parts of the question?
When will level 4 nodes and vassal ships be online?
Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good. I just asked Jacob that the other day, actually. I don't know the answer to that right. I know that that work is is mostly having been completed. I think it's being tested right now for level 4 and vassaling that the systems team has done. So it is in the works. When it makes it to the production environment, that is a very good question.
The water coming off the ship looks awesome. The trail.
Does good.
I'll ask one more question, which is when will we add localization, and have we considered using AI to quicken the language support in game?
I think that as it relates at least to AI as an overall question, like, that is something that we employ across the studio as necessary. There's never going to be something that comes from AI that goes directly to the players, but as it augments our workflows across design, art, and engineering, I mean, that is the reality of today, is that AI is a very useful tool. It should be incorporated across our workflows as we develop the game. That includes things like localization efforts and what is capable from our UI team, but not just there, also like, how we author documents, how we check those documents, how we maintain our centralized location of information and Confluence and whatnot. I mean, we do use that across the board. As relates specifically to localization, yes, that is something that is high on the mind, of course, of our UI team and narrative team. We have tools that are already incorporated as part of how we develop our content so that we can leverage a relatively seamless process to localize our game across different languages.
All right, and that is wrapping up our Q&A.
Beautiful.
Oh, we're flying off into the ship.
Into the
sky.
sunset.
All right, well, as a reminder for you all, Alpha 2 folks who have Alpha 2 access, everybody should be able to join us now if you have Alpha 2 access, even the third wave folks. We unflagged you a little earlier, so you can join us a little earlier than we expected. So please hop in, play with us. We'd love to see you guys. Don't forget to head over to forums.ashesofcreation.com and leave us some feedback. We have some dev discussion forums over there for you all to fill out. And then, of course, thank you so much to all of you who came here to watch and view with us. We appreciate your time and hope you had a good time laughing and checking out what we're doing, as well as enjoying the show. And of course, thank you to Bill, Jeremy, Jocelyn, Kyle behind the scenes, Nathan, Peter behind the scenes, and Steven and Zach for their time today. We know you all have a lot to do, and when we get out of this, we have to make up for the time that we're doing stuff here.
Yeah, thanks so much, y'all.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and of course, stay safe and healthy and have fun on Vera. We'll see y'all soon. Make sure that you follow us in all the places. We are at Ashes of Creation everywhere. We'll have this Twitch VOD up immediately right after. We'll get about a highlight, as well as we will upload it over to YouTube so it doesn't disappear into the ether, because Twitch is now nuking videos, which is great.
What?
Yeah, they're starting to nuke videos, but fortunately, we have them all. We pull all our videos on a drive as well, so nothing will be lost for us. And of course, when this video is up on YouTube, we'll make sure that we share it all with you guys. And don't forget to leave a comment on the development update video if you want to be spotlighted. And we'll see you around.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Fun stream.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, Ed.
Bye.
Thank you.